Welcome to the Swell Suite, everybody. Tanisha, hey girl.
Hey, you came in so nice and clear. Ooh,
I try.
I like it.
It's Saturday morning. We're recording on a Saturday morning, which is unusual.
Hey, it works for me. I
Yeah.
have not left the apartment today. I should probably get on.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I've been
so
straightening up stuff.
Right. So
Yeah.
you just moved.
Yes, last week.
Are you close to where you were before?
No, I'm on the other side of town.
Oh, okay. Is that a good or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. I'm cool
Okay.
with it. I like the area over here. It's nice.
Okay.
I just have to get out the apartment to discover it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one day.
All
One
right.
day when the sun's out, but like everything has been in disarray for so long. Like I want to start, everybody starts the year. Yes, we're going to clean and we're going to get everything straight.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that because I knew I was moving then.
Okay.
So things were in disarray, boxes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then I didn't know where I was going. So there's that. And then I finally moved. And so still working and trying to do work and also trying to unpack and get stuff.
Moving sucks. Yeah,
It's
it really
literally the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Like I won't say disaster, but kind of a disaster. And since I wasn't prepared to move, wasn't thinking about moving, was not like all in with it.
Yeah, that's got to be the worst.
Girl, wasn't that organized. I was just like, all right, so throw this stuff in these boxes and let's go. All right, so there was a Meet the Winecaster event this week, and I was one of the featured podcasts for a wine school dropout. The other ones were La Terre à Boire, Le Bon d'Ivresse, Radio Vino, and one other that I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now, but it was cool. The other podcasts are by men. La Terre à Boire is a group of guys. One of the guys named Romain, he actually interviewed me.
Oh.
And we did an interview before. Your girl started the interview in French. Okay.
You better work it.
He was asking me the questions in French. I was responding in French. Now, I had the questions in advance so I could prepare myself. Because I'm not as good on the fly. Like, I can't talk this fast in French to get my sentiment across. But then there was one question he asked about how the wine scene is different and how Americans feel about French wine. And I was like, I'm going to answer this in English. Okay. Like he asked it in French. So I was like, okay, because I need you to get this sentiment and I don't want to get the words wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like, hopefully you could do a voiceover and then that'll be that. So I answered the rest of the questions in English. He's like, no, this was really good. I like the interactions. Like, you have a great personality. I'm like, yeah, and I don't in French. I'm boring because I'm just saying words. So it's, yeah. And there's no inflection. I'm just trying to get these words out.
Yeah.
There's that. So it was really good. That was the guy who interviewed me is the one that I had the picture with on the story. Yeah. Yeah. And then another one from that podcast, he owns the bar that we were at. And so he was kind of working, so couldn't get any photos with him. And then met one other guy that's on the podcast. And then I think the other person wasn't there. So I think it's like 4 of them, 4 men, and they're usually at a bar talking.
Oh, that's
or
cool.
Interviewing somebody. So it's cool.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to listen to regularly and understand it.
Okay.
Because they're in a bar, so you hear all this other noise. So while if it was in English, I'd be perfectly fine. I could understand English no matter what. In French, it got to be completely silent. Like, we low-key need to talk in the closet, and I need to look at your face. So we're working on it. But that part was fun. They had a blind tasting of a white, a red, and then a mystery. The white and the red were monocepage, which is single varietal to us. And then the third was a blend. The third blend, I guessed that correctly as far as like what the blend was. Because it's GSM, that's one of my favorite blends. And so it's very distinctive in flavor. The red and the white, I'm like, I've never had these grapes. Well, I've had those grapes, but not enough to guess them out of a blind tasting. So there was that.
It sounds like a really fun night, though.
It was fun. The place was crowded. Some of my friends came to support me, and that was good. So we took pictures and talked about Wine School Dropout and told everybody to listen. Met a couple of other wine podcasters and knew who they were just because they were taking the blind taste so seriously, like writing notes and filling out the cards and stuff. I was like, okay, all right, you're clearly a podcaster. Period. Yeah, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. They're gonna do it again. We have a WhatsApp group, so we chat in there regularly.
Nice.
Yeah, I read it. I don't jump in, but I read all the text and things like that. So I think it was a good event. It was successful for the people who came out, for the bar, and then after that, I left with one of my friends, and it's also this bar like around the corner that makes cognac. So had a little nightcap.
Makes cognac.
Yep, they got a house-made cognac.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta come back. Like now
I am dying to come back.
Now like I know this area and the city, so like the experience would be different. Yeah, because also we got to do a day trip to Champagne.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
I definitely come back to Paris. Paris was fun. It was unusually comfortable. Like, why am I so comfortable here? It was very weird.
Well, you also had
I did. We did have a guide, but as you saw, like after a few days, we were like, bonjour.
Y'all had it. Once she told me that you went out, he's like, oh yeah, we just gonna go out to the river and smoke cigars. I was like, what? Like, how do you know to do this? You're like,
because you told us to do it. And we were like, oh, we can do that.
You're like, it's fine. We don't need you. We're good. He's like, oh, y'all taking pictures on the Seine? I was like, oh, okay. Live your best life.
Yeah, it was fun. Paris is fun. Oh, I meant to mention this last week, but last week I went to Westminster, right? And
I saw that. I went to be like, tell everybody hi. Did you see the kids?
I did. I saw one baby. I didn't see all the kids, but Ashley, she had her daughter there. She got a daughter or a son. I forgot. Oh no. Yeah, they are starting to make more piquettes. Do y'all have a lot of those there?
No.
So, guys, a piquette is like a low alcohol wine that's made from the second pressing of making wine. It's called the pomace. And Ashley was telling me the origin of piquette, and she said it was something that workers, farmers, slaves were rewarded for after a day's work. They got the pomace, and they would take the pomace home, and first of all, it would sterilize their water. So they used it for their water, and then they would make, a light alcohol beverage out of it. Wine. So they're starting to make more piquettes. And I was like, did you guys do this on purpose? Because there is a wave of low alcohol beverages that are hitting the market. And she was just like, it wasn't purposeful for us. It's just something that we definitely wanted to do. And now it's getting written about, and, folks are starting to notice us for it. And so we like it. So we're going to keep making it. So I tasted several of those. I got one.
Bottle. Yeah. I would ask you to grab me a bottle and some cans. I need some cans for a seminar I'm going to do here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They have cans on their tastings now too. So you can taste the bottles and the can wines. It was a really good tasting.
I'm gonna have to send them a message. And,
they'll definitely send you stuff.
Yeah, I'll get some. I'll get them to just send it to somebody that's in the States who's coming over. That'd be easier, because trying to get it through customs, I'm not doing
it. Yeah. Anything else going on?
No, just me creating stuff.
I hear you.
Writing, podcasting. The new class I'm doing starts in April.
Oh, nice.
I got to get on that. What else? There was something I was about to. Oh, I'm coming out with a list. I worked with a couple other bloggers of 20 things to do in Paris in 2020.
Ooh, okay. And so, it's for you or for other people to do?
For other people to do.
Oh, okay.
For other people to do. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And it's things that aren't, tourist things like, oh, visit the Eiffel Tower, walk on the Seine. No, it's none of those. It's none of those things. So it's things that are kind of different. Okay. And giving you some like insider scoop kind of thing, but not too insider, because we got to charge you for that.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh, Tanisha, what are your favorite places? I'm not telling you, so it'd be all crowded and I can't go. So no, like I still need to get into my spots. So. Secret. Yeah. Have some travel coming up. I'm going to London in a couple weeks.
Ooh,
for
what?
It's a one day conference about wine and like wine technology and service and like the future of wine and that kind of thing. They're also doing this dope conference in Germany right before Provine. And I'm like, yeah, I can't swing that one. But I was like, I can do this London thing. So, and it's just a day. And I have friends who live in London. So I'm like, I could pop out to London. The train is just like 2.5 hours. Stay a couple days, do that, and then come on back. And the train ticket was cheap. It was $68 round trip. So
round trip. Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like, where can I fly out of DC or Chicago for 68? Nowhere. I think I could fly to Detroit for 68 one way from Chicago to Detroit. But man, I mean, I guess the bus to New York, the $20 bus.
Oh, true. But yeah, you can't get nowhere. I remember when the train was affordable. I don't know what happened. Amtrak used to be like, you know, affordable. And now the prices are just as expensive as a flight.
Yeah. It's just more convenient and the same here. Trains are still affordable because you can do cheap flights, and those are affordable too if you're doing like the low budget airlines. But it's just easier to take the train. So sometimes I'll pay even more to take the train because by the time you do public transportation on the Paris side is fine. I have a pass, but the time it takes you, because you have to get to the airport so early, it takes you a minute to get out to the airport, and then whenever city you're flying into, the airport is usually further out. Whereas the train station is usually in the center of the city, especially in European cities. The train station is, very central. So you can get around from the train station. Yeah. But the airport, that's taking you forever. Now your flight was $40. So, I mean, you can't complain with so much.
Right. Oh, our guest has arrived. Well, welcome to the Swell Suite.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, so for those who don't know you, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jean Wandimi. I'm a food and wine blogger from Nairobi. I have a very reputable wine blog called The Wine and Food Review. Yeah, so that's me. But apart from that, I'm also a business analyst. So blogging is something I really do on the side, and I've been doing for like 6 years now.
And where do you live?
I live in Nairobi, Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you discover that you wanted to start your blog and start doing your videos?
So for me, it actually was something like by accident. So when I was in university, that was like in 2013, I discovered that I had a thing for wine. So I really just got this inclination to try wine and write about it. So at the time, I've always been a writer, and I've always loved journaling and always loved writing things on paper. But at the time, so many people were doing blogging, and I decided, let me just start a simple online blog for myself. I never even intended for people to read. And one day I accidentally shared it on my Facebook. You know how you press blogger, publish, and share to Facebook? Yeah, I was using a blogger, and I shared it on Facebook, and people started asking me questions like, oh, you look like you know about wine. The thing with social media, sometimes when you share something, people think you're the authority for that thing.
Yeah.
And that prompted me to start learning about wine so that I can be able to answer all the questions that I was getting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, so what is the food and wine scene like in Nairobi?
So in Nairobi, the scene is actually growing. I remember when I got started in 2013, there wasn't so much happening. Probably because maybe people were not sharing it on the internet, but I'd like to think that there were no food and wine pairing dinners, for example, happening. Yes, the restaurant scene was still buzzing, but over the last 4 years, we've seen so many restaurants come into the market. So many wineries as well want to come to the Kenyan market. The consumption is growing, as well as people are also well educated. If now you go to social media and just search wine in Kenya, which is a tag I started, you'll be able to see that so many people are drinking wine, so many people are sharing what they're drinking. So with time, it has really grown. Yeah.
That's awesome. Tanisha, did you know about the food and wine scene in Nairobi?
I did not.
Oh.
That's really cool.
I say that I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I would love to say that I think in Africa, because South Africa is a winemaking country. Yes. If we exclude South Africa, I'd love to say that Kenya and Nigeria, I think, are very big markets for wine consumption.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys distribute to the US?
In Kenya, first of all, we only have one winery.
Oh, okay.
So what we have is now people from other companies bringing their wine here versus us distributing elsewhere. Yeah. So most of the wine we drink is from South Africa, but we do have wines from Australia. We have wines from Germany as well. So it all depends with the wine distributor and what country they want to focus on.
Okay. So the Kenyan wine scene is growing from a standpoint of people bringing wine over and then drinking that, but not necessarily wines of Kenya. Is that correct?
No. What I mean to say is consumption-wise and also knowledge-wise, that is how the scene is growing. But most of our wine that we drink is from other countries because we have only one winery.
What's the name of the winery that's there?
It's called Leleshwa.
Spell it for me.
Leleshwa. Leleshwa wine.
Leleshwa.
Exactly. In fact, I'll send you a link about everything. I actually also did a very interesting blog post with photos of the whole place, but it's very interesting to see wines being made in the equator. So that's interesting.
Awesome. Thank you. So we are big sparkling wine fans. Can you explain to everybody the method Cape Classique?
Yeah, so normally method Cape Classique is made using like traditional French method of wine, whereby the sparkling wine undergoes like a second fermentation for that extra fizz. Basically, it's just like champagne, but wine from other places should not be called champagne. Only French wine should be called champagne. So Method Cape Classique is mostly wines from South Africa that are made in the same style as champagne.
Do you guys consume champagne? Well, Cape Classique the same way that we consume champagne, like mostly it's like special occasions and stuff like that. Even though champagne is an excellent food pairing wine, do you guys savor it like we do?
Not Method Cape Classique. Okay, MCC mostly in South Africa. That's when I've witnessed that they do that a lot because they're also very proud of their wine. But in Kenya, first of all, when it comes to wine education, people are educated, especially the people who consume are educated, but I wouldn't say that everybody is well versed on wine. In fact, like in Kenya, most people love their beer, most people celebrate with beer and meat. So it's only I would say like 10%, if I was to put a figure on it, that you would see that they're celebrating with champagne or sparkling wine. And I would say like another 2% would maybe celebrate with MCC. All I think sometimes people want to see is the bubbles. So, yeah.
So you mentioned the one winery in Kenya. Do you have another favorite winery perhaps in South Africa?
Yeah, there's this winery I went to in a place in South Africa in the Western Cape. It's called Klein Roosboom. And what I loved about the winery was, you know how wineries nowadays, like they try to be the most beautiful place. Like most people like compete to be the best and have the most beautiful structures and most beautiful wineries and most beautiful gardens. Now that place was really, really nice in the sense that they had caves where you would go taste your wine, and each cave is decorated. And what I loved about it was the rustic feel of the winery, in the sense that they had even like put a hole on the wall and it looked so rough versus how, wineries try to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. So what you would do is you would come from one cave, maybe try your white wine. After some time now go to the red wines, then go to the heavier wines. It was really an experience. It was so simple and it wasn't trying too much. Yeah, it was in a place called Durbanville in South Africa.
I was watching some of your videos on YouTube, and what is the weather like there? Because you had on a leather jacket in a few of your videos.
Okay, so oh, you mean the one that I was going to a shop?
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
So in Kenya, because we're in the equator, so we don't experience extreme weather temperature. I mean, we don't experience a different climate like you'd have winter, summer. So in Kenya, what we have is sometimes it's very hot, sometimes it's cold. Because of global warming, things have become so unpredictable. Like in January, it's usually very hot, but now it's actually raining. So in Kenya, we rarely have extreme weather temperatures. We don't have snow, we don't have hail or something like that. So yeah, the weather is very standard, but I would say it's hot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So what would you say to someone who wants to visit Kenya?
What I would say is Kenya, mostly people look at it through the lens of, okay, let's go on a safari, let's go see the animals. Well, that is interesting because I've also done that myself. I believe that that's not the only way you get to see or know about a place, because everybody comes here on safari and that's interesting. However, I would also recommend you to do the slow travel and immersive sort of travel, or an experiential sort of travel where you get to maybe even live with from Kenya and you go and see where they eat, try the food there, and also immerse yourself in that way. How I would also say that make sure you visit the coastal region of Kenya, whether you're going to Diani Beach or Lamu or all those historical places. Make sure you go to the coast because that's another type of amazing life. So don't just come here, do a safari and go back. Try to go to the coast. Try to also eat authentic Kenyan food, and interact with people from Kenya as well and make friends.
Okay, Jean, do you do so you mentioned a lot about wine. Is there like a cocktail scene in Kenya as well?
Well, yes. We have bars as well, which do cocktails, and Fridays we have happy hour all around, just like you'd expect in a very vibrant city. So we do have a big cocktail scene, but I wouldn't say it's like of big cities like New York or LA, but yeah, it's there.
Do you guys have like a signature cocktail? Like, what do you guys drink the most of?
Yeah, so in Kenya, we have a signature cocktail called the dawa. Dawa is medicine in Swahili, which is the local language. So this cocktail has been redone in so many ways. You'll find every restaurant does it in its own way, but it's mostly ginger and lemon and honey. And maybe you can add a dash of vodka if you want, depending on the liquor that you want. So you can make your dawa in the style that you want. So that's one very nice cocktail that you should try when you come to Kenya.
So you're saying make it in the way that you want. So is ginger, lemon, and honey, and then you just add in whatever kind of spirit? So
Exactly.
vodka, okay.
Yeah, most times I've seen people adding vodka. I've also seen people adding a whiskey to it. It was made mostly to like cure colds. I'm sure you know that recipe where you have lemon.
It's like a hot toddy.
Exactly. All I thought was hot toddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And you serve it chilled, like on ice?
Yeah, you should serve it chilled. If it has alcohol, most times I see them serving it chilled. But if it has no alcohol, you can take it hot. Like when you go to a restaurant, they offer you a dawa cocktail, which is hot.
Okay, so this part of our show, we ask you a few random questions. Okay, so our first question is, what wine do you drink the most?
I think Pinot Noir. I don't know what is it about Pinot Noirs. I just love them. I don't know whether it's just the name sometimes. Like I really love Pinot Noirs, and also I also love Pinotage as well. So for me, I really love like red wine. Yeah.
Tanisha, what about you? What do you drink the most?
Wine. So you want me to be specific about which wine?
Which wine?
Red wine from the south of France is probably what I drink the most. Yeah, like
what about you, Sarita?
A couple bottles open now.
So I I can't even lie. I drink bubbles the most, but it's cava most of the time.
Yeah.
If it's still wine, when I'm out, I drink a lot of Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, interesting.
And you know how I feel about that.
I know how you feel about Sauvignon Blanc.
So I've tried. You don't like it?
I have tried, and it is it's not my top 5 whites ever.
Yeah.
Like it's other ones, so it's like I have to force myself to like it. I have several other choices.
You know what it is? A Sauvignon Blanc is on everybody's happy hour. It's usually the same 3 whites. It's usually Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Pinot Grigio. Let me tell you something. How you feel about Sauvignon Blanc is how I feel about Pinot Grigio. So I'm almost never going to drink it. Unless I'm in Italy and I know it's going to be good, but the crap that we get in the U.S., I
don't even look at Pinot Grigio. Yeah, because that's also not a thing here, so I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But Sauvignon Blanc is a big thing, and there are so many other whites. You have Chardonnays from all over. You have Sauvignon Blancs from several different regions. Then you have the Sauvignon, and then there was a blind tasting I was at the other day, and the white grape was Altesse. I was like, who? I was like, clearly, I have to get my weight up with the French wines because that wasn't even on my radar to think about.
Yeah.
Aligoté, like you have so many.
Oh, yeah, I've had that one before, yeah.
So I don't have to force the Sauv Blanc thing.
Nice.
So, Tanisha, how you are with Sauvignon Blanc, like that's how I was with Riesling.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's because maybe the Rieslings that I had tried here were not so nice. But then I went now to the Riesling region in Germany and I got proper Riesling and now I really love it. At first I used to find it so acidic and just so complicated, but now I actually have grown to love it. So probably Tanisha, in a few years you'll love Sauv Blanc.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not trying it anymore for now. Maybe I'll come around. But no, and it's funny you would say that because I think everyone has like one wine or one grape or whatever that they're just like, no, I can completely live without that.
Yeah.
So it's good to know what ours are. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you, Jean. We're starting to see a trend here in the U.S. where winemakers are producing wines with less alcohol. Is that what trend is going on right now in Africa? Do you see anything?
No, at the moment I haven't seen that, but I do know that winemakers also customize per region. So for example, last year I met this lady who was in Austria and she was producing, she's Kenyan, but she's Kenyan Austrian, and she was trying to bring some wine from Austria to the Kenyan market. And she told us she had to sit with her winemaker and actually customize her wine to our Kenyan palate, in the sense that she made her wine maybe a bit more sweeter, and also she made it a bit more flavorful. So the trend that I've seen mostly is people just customizing to the palate. Like Kenya, we love like meat a lot, so heavier bodied reds really do well here. So yeah, that's one trend I've started to notice.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Name your comfort food.
My comfort food is something I've just had like 20 minutes ago. And it has to do with potatoes, because potatoes are just the best thing in life, because you can make them in so many ways. Mashed.
Agreed.
Exactly. So in Kenya, we have this thing we call masala chips. In Kenya, we call French fries chips. So what it is, it's the French fries are ready and then you redo them again. So you make some onion, you put your sauces, your tomatoes, your everything, and then you put the fries inside and stir them together in the sauce, and they're like red and so delicious. So yeah.
That sounds so good.
I'm in.
Yeah, the next time you guys come to Kenya, which I think should be soon, I'll definitely take you out to try that.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Africa's very high on my list.
Yeah.
Do you have any countries in particular you're looking at visiting?
Well, I mean, South Africa is the top one for sure, just for the wine purposes. But I have friends in Senegal. So I'd love to visit Senegal and Ghana.
Okay.
And then now we know you're in Kenya, so
yeah,
definitely, yeah. And also, if you go to South Africa, if you need recommendations of places to visit, I can always drop you some recommendations as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Tanisha, your comfort food, is it still the same?
Girl, ain't nothing changed. I mean, I just add stuff to it as far as sides and stuff, but no, it is.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah, tell her what yours is.
Fried chicken. Fried chicken. Yeah.
Delicious. Can't go wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Sarita, my new place is walking distance from the fried chicken and waffle place.
Well, there you go. That's perfect. That is perfect.
Yeah.
My comfort food this year has seemed to be grits.
Okay.
Yeah. Creamy, cheesy grits.
Okay. Do you make a regular, like grind them up grits, or you do the instant ones?
I can do both. Yeah. Either way, dress them up. Mm-hmm. And even if you have even some places, some restaurants, they will make grit cakes. So they'll cool the grits down in a pan and cut it in squares or circles or whatever, and then sear them. So it's like a crunchy top. Girl.
What?
Yes.
Girl, that sounds delicious.
It really is.
Now I gotta do some grit cakes.
Mm-hmm. It's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Grit cake recipe. Let's see what Siri says.
Okay, Jean, next question. What is your favorite TV show?
So my favorite TV show of all time was a show called Revolution. It's a bit old school. I really loved it. And currently I'm watching Billions simply because of just the dialogue. I really fall in love with shows because of the dialogue and the banter. So I'm currently watching Billions and Ozark on Netflix.
What was the first show you mentioned? You said Revolutionary? Revolution. What was that about?
So it was about a city where the lights went out. Like imagine lights going out everywhere on Earth, and you have to, there's no electricity, there's nothing. So you have to start from scratch. And it's just so interesting. I would rewatch it. In fact, I rewatched it a few months ago. Yeah.
That's cool.
What about you guys?
Ooh. I just finished The Morning Show on Apple TV.
Okay.
You loved
it? And I loved it, and yet I was traumatized.
Okay. Don't tell me, because I'm actually gonna watch it. So don't.
I'm just gonna give Gina a overview of what it's about. Okay. It's pretty much about a very famous cable news TV show. And do you know Matt Lauer?
Yeah.
He was from the Today Show. Yeah, it's loosely based on what happened with him and his sexual assaults. Yeah, his allegations or whatever. And just how that affected the rest of the team, the producers, his co-hosts, and how, some people believed him, some people didn't, and then how everybody's career went in different ways after that. So it's really, really good.
I'll definitely look it up.
Yeah. Interesting.
And you, Tanisha?
Favorite TV show? That's tough. But what I'm watching now, I'm watching Startup on, it's old, but it's on Amazon Prime now. So
what's Startup about?
That. Startup is about this girl who has this currency like Bitcoin. And so she's trying to push that and get somebody to buy into that. And Adam Brody produces it. He's the kid from the OC. Well, I'm saying kid. He's grown now. He was on the OC. And he is somebody that he used to work for a financial company, and she pitched it to that financial company. They didn't buy it, but he was like, okay, I'm on board. And then also a drug dealer, gangster, he's on board with it. So now they're trying to get people to buy in. And,
I like it.
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love TV shows about tech entrepreneurs, like things that would happen today that are realistic as well. So I'll definitely watch that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like the tech part of it. And then Sarita knows me. Drugs are involved in most TV shows I watch. It's drugs or crime. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
In the TV shows, not in my life. In the TV shows, I'm good.
Good to clarify.
I had to clarify for the listeners.
Yeah.
Jean, what is your favorite wine pairing?
My favorite wine pairing is kind of cliche. It's just some good barbecue meat, which we call like nyama choma here, and a good Cabernet Sauvignon. Like I really love that, but I also love like fish, like tilapia. We have tilapia here and a good Chardonnay. So those two are like favorite for me.
Yum.
Yeah.
Tanisha, you got one?
I was really thinking, no, because I'm usually just drinking whatever I want and then eating whatever I want.
Yeah.
And not like pairing it like perfectly. But I mean, since we're going to keep going with the comfort food thing, fried chicken and champagne is a thing.
Yeah.
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 So.
Yeah, especially like if the chicken is a bit spicy with some nice salt and then the bubbles of the champagne. So
yeah,
really nice.
All of those things. I could probably change it up a bit and be a little more, whatever the word is for that. But no, I'm not basic, but here we are. I like what I like.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, it's really simple. It's just potato chips and Chardonnay.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I used to do popcorn and Chardonnay. The movie
that's
theater
good too.
Popcorn.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah,
that's good. But do you guys subscribe to the whole thing of, red wine has to be paired with like meat and red foods, and then white wine has to be paired with soup?
No way. No
yeah, you
way.
have to experiment and try different things.
I like what I like, and I drink whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, Jean. How do you unwind after a long day?
So my way to unwind is listen to loud rock or metal music. I know it sounds crazy, but it's kind of yes. I love like rock and metal so much. So after a long day, I'll just come and put the radio and just take a long steamy shower. You know, the type of shower that's almost too hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Nice. Tanisha, what about you?
After a long day, how do I unwind? I'm probably turning all the lights out and watching something on TV, like watching some series or something. Wine is probably involved, or gin. It depends on the day.
Okay, I got you. Let's see. How do I unwind? Okay, so if I had a long day and it went well, then I'll have energy and I'll usually cook to unwind. I like that. It's it's relaxing to me. However, if I've had a long, terrible day, then I'm probably going to sit on the couch and drink some bourbon. Yeah, that's pretty sad, but
no, it's not sad at all. But the day is the day.
Yeah, so. It just depends on the day, but yeah, that's what I would do. Okay. Last question. Name something on your bucket list.
So one of the things that I really want to do is go to Vietnam. Like I really want to go to all the places, Ho Chi Minh City, and go to the Golden Hands Bridge. That's something that, from the top of my head, that's something I want to do.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And Tanisha,
and you guys?
Go to South Africa. Real talk. It is actually on my bucket list. Go to South Africa, and then a separate thing is and this is actually very basic because it's something a lot of people have done. I want to fly in a private jet, not necessarily to South Africa.
That ain't basic.
Well, I was about to say fly first class on a long distance flight. That's basic. So I changed it up to the private jet because that actually is on the bucket list too. Flying a private jet.
Mm-hmm. You know what mine is? Mine is kind of basic actually. Is to stay on a farm for like a whole week, but like work on the farm too. So wake up with the farmers and like go farm and like milk cows and feed pigs and stuff, and then eat the food. You know, and even cut the heads off chicken. I'm not afraid of that. Sorry, vegans, but do all of the farming things and eat the food.
So maybe you should do like a walk away or something of the sort.
Yes, that's what I'm like. That would be super cool. You can do that in another country.
What is it?
Work away.
Oh, work away. That's a thing. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Oh,
and there's plenty of places where you can do that, and then they take care of your room and board, and you just go there and you work. Yeah,
you're kidding me.
No.
Yeah, anywhere in the world.
Girl, you can be in Italy on an olive farm and work in the land for a week.
Oh my God, I just wrote this down. You guys are blowing my mind right now.
I'm gonna remember the name of it to give you, to send you the link. I got to think about it for a second, but that's like a whole thing.
And the best thing is you won't spend any money because they give you food and they give you a place to sleep. Obviously, make sure you also research the place because you have to make sure that the place is really conducive for you as well. But you can go anywhere in the world. You can take like a 6-month sabbatical or something like that and enjoy yourself. So your dreams are about to come true.
Listen,
yay!
We just changed your life.
You did. Y'all just changed my life.
You are welcome.
How about that? Well, Jean, thank you so much for joining the Swirl Suite today.
Yes,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, tell everybody where they can follow you in your blog.
You can follow me at Jean Wandimi on all my platforms. That is JeanWandimi. And my blog is thewineandfoodreview.com. So, and also on YouTube, you can find me on my name, Jean Wandimi. I do a lot of wine tourism videos and also tasting videos as well.
Fantastic. Well, Jean, enjoy the rest of your day and thanks again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tanisha and Sarita, for having me. And see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Swirl Suite. Don't forget to follow us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play. And you can follow us on all social media at Swirl Suite. You can follow myself, Sarita, at Buy Me Up. You can follow Tanisha at Girl Meets Glass, Glennis at Irie Wine and Vino Noir. And you can follow Leslie at Vino301. Cheers!